Hi everyone! Today we are finally reviewing the Black Widow Dragon set of pencils. Now I know I'm a bit late off the mark with these. They came out a few months ago, but I have had a good play with them and I'm really excited to show you them actually if you haven't seen them already, because I think they might be my favourite Black Widow set so far. And that is, you know, a huge thing to say really, considering how many sets and how many beautiful colours there've been before this. But this set it's one of a kind. It's got a lot of very unusual shades in there that are really, really nice to colour with. And, you know, I'll show you those. But I thought the Monarch set was a really nice set, but this, it trumps it for me. So let's just have a look first of all at the packaging and stuff, just in case you've never had a set of Black Widow pencils before. There are several different sets in the Black Widow range. This one is called Dragon. There's also Monarch. There's the Skin Tones Dark and Light. There is the Cobra, the Scorpion, and the original Black Widow set. I don't think I've left one out, hopefully. But yeah, there's quite a few sets and this is the most recent one. So we open them up. This is a set of 36, by the way. So I'm going to take the top tray out. It's just a simple, cheap plastic tray. It's nothing to get excited about. So let me see if I can fit both of these on the screen. I might have to move my little thing out of the way. Isn't this beautiful, by the way? Claire Holloway, of Claire Holloway Arts and Crafts on Etsy, and of course from our colouring groups, made this for me. Isn't it stunning? I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's gorgeous. So I'm going to move that out of the way just so I can show you all of the pencils, what you want to see. There we go. Yep, so here we go with the range of colours. So there's a couple of colours that I've used more than others, as you can see. This one here is one that I had a couple of breakages with. The other ones have been absolutely fine, but this one here specifically, this is called Dark Night. I did have a couple of breakages, so I definitely want to make that clear. But, you know, it's one pencil out of the set, so, you know, I don't know. It could just be a fluke. The rest of the pencil could be fine. But anyway, colours. So you can see just by the paint at the bottom of the pencils how nice of a range this is, and it is very heavy on these warm tones. So there are a lot less blues. There are quite a few greens, but, you know, there are definitely a lot less of blues and purples in this set than previous sets. So it does focus quite heavily on the warm colours, but the colours that are included, especially over here, are some really, really beautiful, unusual shades, as I mentioned. So I'm going to get the swatch chart out to show you. This is the one that I've done. And I just want to go through some of the colours just to, you know, just to really appreciate the tones. So my absolute favourite out of this set is most definitely the Dark Night that I mentioned. You know, it is the one that I've seemed to have used the most, but I did get breakages on it. But I absolutely love this colour. It is a kind of a desaturated blue. It's like a slate blue. It's almost like a grey as well. You can use it for quite a few different things. You can use it for a metal. You could use it as part of a dark sky. It's got quite a few different uses, that one. It is a lovely, lovely tone. And as you can see, just as we go across here, you've got the Picasso Sky, which goes beautifully with the Dark Night for a blend, and I'll show you that soon. Again, another kind of muted blue. Then you've got the Blue Tongue, which is a very, very light purple, and it's got a lot of blue in it. It's not a red purple, it's a blue purple, and it's lovely. And again, quite muted, quite desaturated. Another favourite of mine are these two here, the Dungeon and the Cardboard. So Dungeon is quite a murky, mossy, I would call it a peat green, you know, like Irish peat. It's definitely a green, goldish greeny brown, and it goes beautifully with the Cardboard colour next to it. So Cardboard is what I would describe as a green gold. It does look quite metallic if you look at the pencil end. It looks like it's been dipped in a metallic paint rather than a matte paint like the rest of them, or gloss paint. But these two colours, brilliant combo. What else have we got? We have got some lovely greens. So I did say that it wasn't heavy on the you know, that side of the colour wheel, but the greens are quite, you know, really quite nice. You've got a couple of different combos of greens as well. You've got this kind of apple palette, and then you've got a much more emerald palette, a jewel tone palette over here. And the Sabre is a really, really good one because it is half blue, half green, and it's really dark. in tone. So it's, like I said, just really, really unusual colours. What else do I like? The bruise colour is beautiful. It's how would I describe this? It's sort of like a vintage pinky purple. It's a red violet tone, but it's very vintage. It's very it's not very bright, but yeah, you can see the colour, you know what I'm saying. It's just lovely. It's not a colour that you would generally find in a pencil set, a standard pencil set. And yeah, obviously, as you can see, we've got tons and tons of reddy pinks, oranges, really, really warm colours, which are great. You know, the addition of those, while they might not be as lovely and as nice as the rest of the unusual colours, the addition of those means that you could just use this set on a page and you wouldn't have to touch any other pencils, because you've got your warm fire colours there. You know, you've got a yellow, so you can make flames, you can make sunsets, but then you've also got all of these unusual ones as well. I just think it's a really, really well-rounded set. As I say, not many blues at all, not many purples at all, but I'm happy with the selection that they've put together, because it's quite easy to get blues and purples from other places. In place of that are these unusual tones that I really, really appreciate. The one thing that I would say is that the Sandpiper and the Orange Petal are really quite similar, and so are the Gold Dust and the Serpent, really. So I think they probably could have been switched out for, you know, something a little bit different. A couple of the pinks as well are quite similar. They do have a marked difference in tone when you see them with the eye, but they are really quite similar. So yeah, really, really pleased with this set overall, and I thought what I would do is I would colour a page only with these pencils. So I've not used any other sets or any other brands, and I've coloured a page so that I can show you in action more of these colours. So I'll move these to one side and I'll get the page. So this is from Haxanstuga, which I'm definitely not saying correctly. It's the Witch's Cottage book from Hannah Carlson. And this is the page that I did, which you probably will have already seen if you follow my social medias. So this is what I mean about having loads of different colours that you can achieve different parts of illustrations with. That makes absolutely no sense, that sentence. What I'm trying to say is we've got quite a lot of muted things going on. Desaturated, sort of like browns and things like that, and greys, but then you've also got these really bright reds and oranges that you can make these popping dragons with, and that kind of thing. So this whole page was done only with those pencils. Now this here, this cabinet on the wall, was done with those two colours that I mentioned, the dungeon and the cardboard. And just look, you could make a gold with it, you could make a tarnished gold. But on here, I've just gone for a sort of old wooden look, and it works. So they're really, really versatile, these colours. You can use the same colours for a lot of different things, and it makes sense. So like I said, you could use the Dark Night and the Picasso Sky for metals, like I've done here. So that's those two colours, created this metal. I think I also put a bit of cobblestone in there as well. And then the Dark Night and the Blue Tong helped make this pot. And this on here on the wall as well, this pan. And then this pan I coloured with the Picasso Sky, but then I put a bit of that dungeon and cardboard on the top for a rustic burnished metal. So you see how different these two pans are, but I've only used 3 colours. What else do I want to tell you? So you can see on the bottles in the cabinet that I've tried to keep those quite muted and use the pastel tones that were within this set, because I wanted that to sort of not take away from the main things on the page, which is of course the fire dragons. So again, that's just, they all go really, really nicely together. Now the greens, we've got a couple of different greens, as I mentioned, different temperatures of green. On the pot here, you can see that I've coloured the stuff bubbling over in the sort of emerald bright jewel tones, really saturated greens. But then over here, I've coloured these leaves in the apple tones. So they're a little bit more dialed down, scaled down in brightness. So again, you can do a lot with these pencils. So we've got the fire dragons here with the really, really bright combos of the sundown and the light rust and the serpent, which I have actually done a step-by-step tutorial for. I did it on the dragons and I did it on the cabinet. So I'll put those up on the screen now if I remember, so that you can achieve that if you've got these pencils and this book as well. What else? So you can see we've got the really bright fire dragons here, and then we've got the fire coming out through the grate in the stove, but they do look quite different. You know, this one looks a lot more like, what do they call it when it's just, a fire is just sort of settled, you know exactly the word I'm thinking of, like the embers of the fire. That's what I've achieved here, just by using a little bit of the Gold Dust and Serpent, but a lot of mellow yellow in the centre and a little bit of white gel pen over the top. And that's just created this kind of soft flame that's just slowly burning inside the stove. And then you've got the really bright impact of the fire dragons where I've included the reds. So, yeah, like I said, super, super versatile. So we've got the logs as well, and I think I did these, let me just check, I must have done these with brown stick and then also used a bit of the Dark Night, I remember now. So I also used this Dark Night to be shadows on the logs. So it's a blue that you can use for metals, skies, and now shadows as well. So again, try and think out of the box with some of these colours, using them, as I say, for shadows, for drop shadows even, and just to darken up some of the lighter colours in here, just to desaturate those a bit. Down here we have the Dark Night again on these squares of the basket, and what red did I use? Bloodshot, I think, on the other squares. And then in between the squares I used the Sandpiper just to give it a little bit of a different look. This was obviously just black line art, and I created the inside squares just by using that Sandpiper pencil to create like an L shape around each one, and it really works. Again with the cat, just layering up the castle pencil, the castle and the saddle I think, and then I did also use the Dark Night to put a bit of shadow in there as well. So that Dark Night pencil, really, really great one to have in your collection. So now I've waffled on about that, and also I've just noticed that I also used the Dungeon and the Cardboard colours to do these little gold, greeny gold leaves on the edge of the stove as well, which actually looks completely different to how it was used up here. So like I said, super, super versatile. Okay, so we've looked at all of the colours. This is a swatch chart of the whole 180 sets so far of the Black Widow pencils. So this is every single pencil you can get from Black Widow at the moment. This swatch sheet was made by the wonderful Emily Illustrator. So it's a free download. People have asked me, am I going to do a chart for the Black Widows? I can't really see much point when Emily's done such a fantastic job of getting them all on one page, and, you know, still readable and still, you know, a lot of space to put your swatches in. So just go and download this from Emily Illustrator's page. She'll have it on probably her website and also the description box of her review of the dragon pencils, I should imagine. I don't want to give you the link, you know, now here because I haven't really got permission to just share that, but go and find it on Emily's page. So yeah, these are all the colours together. My pastel purple was broken on the end when I was doing the swatch chart, and I didn't have a pencil sharpener with me, so that's why it's not on there. But yeah, they incorporate really, really well together, and I'm just looking to see if there's any outstanding colours here. No, they really do incorporate quite well with the other pencils. So yeah, definitely would recommend that you get your hands on them. Let's just do a bit of a blend so that, I know you've seen it on the picture, but let's do a bit of a blend so I can show you what I mean. I've got that Dark Night pencil. In fact, let me put it like this so I can see what I'm using. So, no, that's not a good idea, is it? See through that. Let's do it on here, easier. Right, okay. So there's our colours. Now I'm going to use the Dark Night, and we're going to get a lovely blend out of this with a couple of different colours in the set. I should probably zoom you in, shouldn't I, really? There we go. So this is that lovely Dark Night colour. It's a grey, it's a blue, it's a shadow, it's whatever you want it to be. And then I'm going to blend that with the Picasso Sky. That's one blend you can achieve with the Dark Night pencil. Let's go for another one. This time, let's go for the Blue Tongue. And just see how different of a blend and how different of a feel and a mood you get with these two colours together. Lovely, isn't it? Lovely, lovely set of pencils. Again with the Dark Night, because this is just the colour that I'm raving on about. Just want to show you what you can achieve. It's great to have this particular colour just in one pencil, as one pigment, rather than having to try and create it or find it or build it up from other colours. What was I saying I was going to do with this one? So yeah, you could use the Cobblestone, which is more of a warm grey. You might want to do this if you are doing metals. And let's see, you can really combine this colour with anything, honestly. Let's go for that bruise colour, see how that looks. Now, because of the massive difference in both the tone and the brightness of these colours, you're going to have to work a little bit harder for a blend. But it can work. It's kind of like the magic pencil that blends with anything, this one. Probably not a yellow. Don't go too far outside the box, but you could even use this layered over the bruise colour. And like I said, as a shadow. So say that you'd coloured something in the bruise. Let's just do a sphere. And you wanted to add some shadow in. You can do that with this. Just do a quick sharpen. So hopefully you can see what I mean about it being usable for a lot of different things. Now, I mean, I don't know where blue in drop shadows go. I think it might go down here. I've never ever been good at that. But there we are. That's pretty terrible, but I think you know where I'm coming from. So that is what you can do with the Dark Night pencil. Obviously there's tons of other blends you can do. I've demonstrated that on the page. These three blend really, really nicely together. And these three as well, the Fizz, Wizard and Sabre, are really, really nice. Let's do that. So where's the Sabre? That's it, the three colours are together. So this one is the Sabre. Again, another great shadow colour. And then you've got Wizard. Super rough blending, but you get the idea. And then we've got Fizz. That is gorgeous, isn't it? Really, really beautiful set of colours. Hopefully my light's not glaring down on this, but you can just see how well they go together. So again, really, really easy to create combinations from these. They've all sort of stayed within families, but you can also skip out of the families. Like I said, you can use that with that, you can use that with that, that with that, that with that. So yeah, I've probably not done the other colours in the set justice, but those are the ones that really pinpointed this out as a great set for me. Again, the dungeon and the cardboard. The cardboard is supposed to be a metallic pencil, I think, but it doesn't feel metallic to me when I use it. But you can see it's this beautiful green gold colour. And then the dungeon is just a darker tone of that same colour, so go really, really well together. You could make bronze, antique, gold. Quite a few different things with this. But yeah, there you go. Very, very rough, quick demonstrated blend. The pencils have the same formula as well, pigment formula, as the rest of the Black Widows, so they feel exactly the same. They are on the harder sort of layer inside of the scale, but so they don't feel like a Prismacolor. They're not buttery, but they're definitely not hard. So it's one of those things. If you haven't tried it before, try and get your hands on a really small set, or, you know, try and borrow some off somebody you know, just to see what you think of them before you go full out and buy the sets. But they are really, really nice to colour with. Again, paper makes all the difference, you know, when you're colouring. This is a really nice paper stock. So I hope that I've done the set justice with my review and not messed it up by just going on and on. Just trying to think if there's anything else I've got to tell you about the pencils. Obviously links and things will be in the description where you can go and buy them. But yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed it. And any questions, just let me know in the comments. I'll try and answer them. And I will see you very soon on Colour with Claire.